Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be focusing on a topic based on foreign exchange and travel planning. This is grade 12 tourism, and this topic focuses mainly on exchange rates and calculations. So we'll head on to the second slide. Um, the learning outcomes for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, learners should be able to define foreign exchange, um, bank selling rates, and bank buying rates. They also should be able to understand why exchange rates fluctuate, and they also should be able to calculate the South African rand to foreign currency conversions and factors in bank commissions and service fees. Um, The news that we have today for this topic is that like the rand has hit like 21 rand compared to $1 or US dollar. So based on the statements above, is this good news or is this bad news? Like for example, inbound tourists, whenever like someone is coming inside South Africa, whenever the rand is low, it means it is very positive, or it has like advantages towards inbound tourists. Hence South Africa becomes cheap. Their buying power becomes more and ours become very low. So everything in South Africa tends to be cheap. And for outbound tourists, people who are supposed to go overseas from South Africa, overseas becomes very expensive. Hence, when you convert your money to the other foreign currency, it becomes very less. So these are the things that lead to many tourists visiting other countries, or they may not visit other countries, maybe due to their currencies being very low. And also, if the South African rand is very cheap, this means that so many tourists will come to visit South Africa. Heading on to slide number 4, we have the bank selling rates versus the bank buying rates. When we talk about the bank selling rates, the BSR, we are talking about the rates used when the bank sells foreign currency to the tourist. Um, this tourist is departing from South Africa. So the bank buying rate, when we're talking about the BBR, we are talking about the rate at which the bank buys foreign currency from the tourist when the tourist is entering or returning to South Africa. So heading on to slide number 5, um, the bank don't work just for free. Banks usually they don't work just for free. Um, there are commissions whenever you are exchanging like currency, and also there are service fees. And also there's also VAT included every time you are exchanging like a foreign currency to the local currency. So for number one, we have like total cost of everything whenever you are exchanging. This is a formula used to calculate like how much is gonna cost you when you are exchanging your foreign currency. We have amount times the exchange rates that the bank uses to exchange the foreign currency plus the commission and also the service fee. The commission In this case, it's usually 1% to 3% of the total amount that the person wants to exchange from that foreign currency. Then the service fee is a flat rate per transaction. This is usually, for example, 65 rate. So, and then we also have the value added tax refund, which is 15% claimable on goods taken out of South Africa. This happens whenever like someone wants to buy like something and take that thing to their own countries. So usually like the banks they charge like 15% for it, and also the service fee. This is just for the service that the banks provide, which is 65 rand, and then the commission depending on the amount of money that the tourist has at that moment. It usually costs around 1% to 2%. Therefore, now we're gonna check on how to calculate these things, like in detail. Then step by step calculations. Um, Here we have a scenario where a client is from Europe and the client wants to exchange 1000 euros, then the exchange rate that the banks are using at that time is 20 rand 50. The commission is 2% in this case, and then the fees obviously is the fixed amount of 65 rand. So the basic conversions for this calculation is gonna be 1000 euros multiplied by 20 rand. The reason why we are using multiplication is because we are exchanging like a currency that is stronger than the rand. So if we are exchanging a currency that's stronger than the rand, we usually multiply. Um, we talked about this in the previous grades, like grade 11 and grade 10. So we usually multiply. So in this case, we're gonna be saying 1000 multiplied by 20 rand 50, which is gonna give us like 20,500. And then the second step is that we have to multiply the commission as well. Like we need to get how much the commission is gonna be in this case. So to calculate the commission, we're gonna take that 20,500 since like the money is now converted, and then we'll multiply by 2, um, divide by 100%, which is gonna give us like 420%, which means 2% of 20,500 is gonna be 410 rand. And then the third step is that we add the 65 rand fixed amount of the flat fee, which is 65 rand. So in this case, we are gonna take the 410 rand, the 2% that we calculated from the 20,500, which is 410 rand, and then add it alongside with the 65 rand, which is the fixed flat fee. Then we get the total of the charges for the whole 20,500. So in this case, it's gonna be 475 rand when we add the commission and the flat fee. Then the fourth, the final total is gonna be 20,500 plus 475, which is gonna give us like 20,975 for the whole amount. So here the amount that we're gonna take from the tourist who's gonna be exchanging the money, it's 475 rand. And that's how we calculate exchange rates. Then heading on to the seventh slide. Now we are gonna calculate the VAT value added tax refund for tourists. The formula for this is gonna be total divided by 115. We get this 115 by saying 15% divided by 100%, which is gonna give us like 115. So we basically add the 100% and the 15%. So in this case, it's gonna be total price divided by 115 times 15. Example: Curio brought for 5,000 inclusive of VAT. In this case, Curios bought something for 5,000, which includes VAT. So if you want to get how much VAT did, did this thing cost, we're gonna say um, the refund, it's 5,000 divided by 115 times 15, which is 652 rand 70 cents for the refund that Kuro is gonna get for the item he bought for for 5,000, which included VAT at that time. So heading on to slide number 8. So since we've briefly explained what is happening when we are exchanging like currencies, what the banks uses, now we have an activity. The activity topic is the travel agent challenge. The task here: a client has 30,000 South African rand for a United States of America trip. Use live rates from FNB and SARB. Advice on cash versus credit versus travel card. Consider safety versus convenience. Present the best option with reason. So basically in this activity, there's a client here who wants to visit like the United States of America. So in this case, to calculate how much it's gonna cost for him to go that side and how much is he gonna have for this specific trip when you convert it from South African rands to the United States dollar, you have to use the live rates from FNB and SARB, and then you will have to advise him on using cash versus using credit card or using a travel card, and also consider the safety and the conveniences of using all these things. Present the best options as well, like have a reason for why you have chosen such an option for this particular person. Then heading on to the last slide. Now we're gonna recap on what we talked about earlier. Um, Number one, if the bank selling rate for the British pound is equals to 24 rand, how much is how much in South African rand for 800 British pound? Then secondly, state one advantage of a weak rand for South African tourism. This is what we talked about, I think in the second slide or third, whereby we stated that whenever the South African rand is weak, what happens to the South African tourism, and what also happens to a tourist coming to South Africa. Then the third one is quote for next lesson. If forex is wrong, your visa won't help. So this is the lesson for today, and thank you guys for your time. See you on the next lesson.